Touring Axle-Back would be an excellent choice for the S197 GT owners out there who want to go with a premium system in regards to overall construction and materials, and one that will deliver a little bit more volume than your stock system. Prospective buyers can look forward to premium 304 grade stainless steel throughout, all for the mid $700 price tag, and the install is going to get a simple 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter from me, with a little bit more detail to come later in the video. So Borla has always been a popular choice with Mustang owners out there because obviously their quality is exceptional, but more importantly, their sound just kicks ass. And with Borla, you actually have a couple of different levels of ass kicking. For instance, the Touring here will be the milder of the 3 options and will be for the Coyote owners out there who want just a little bit more volume when compared to your factory system. Now Borla's S-Type, on the other hand, will be their middle of the road option and will be for the owners who want a little bit more bark. And then finally there is the Attack, which will always be one of the category leading systems in regards to just overall volume. But as I just said, and as you guys heard with our sound clips, the Touring is going to be pretty tame overall. So going to my Wake the Neighbor scale, I have the Touring coming in at a soft 3 out of 5 on my 1 to 5 or 1 to Wake the Neighbor scale. Again, you are getting a little bit more volume, but it's certainly not going to be nearly as loud as Borla's other offerings, which are a little bit more aggressive. Inside the car, you can tell the exhaust certainly isn't stock, but it's really not much louder than your factory system, which in my opinion is a good thing. Listen, if you want a quiet system or a mild system on the outside, chances are you'd like to keep things relatively quiet inside the car as well, and the Touring certainly delivers there. The tone is deeper without being loud or drony, and overall, I think inside the car, the Borla sounds really good. And taking that a step further, personally, I think the Touring system has always been a great choice when looking to balance out or quiet down a set of long tube headers, for instance, or maybe an off-road X or H pipe. Because if you think about it, if you start out with one of those super aggressive systems like the Attack, for instance, things are only going to get louder and crazier once you start adding long tubes or those off-road mid pipes, which again, some people might enjoy, others might not. But let's talk a little bit more about how the Touring here is going to deliver that mellow tone, and the star, of course, are the turbo-style Touring mufflers. Now the mufflers by themselves do feature the patented straight-through design, but with a multi-core design, which will free up the flow, but also help keep the volume and the drone levels to a minimum. But as is the case with a lot of the Borla stuff, the Touring mufflers, in addition to everything else, is made extremely well using premium materials. This does include the 304 grade stainless we already mentioned, and that is going to be the case everywhere with this system. 2 3/4 inch mandrel bent tubing, the Touring mufflers themselves, all exiting out the rather large 4.5 inch tips here, which are embossed with that Borla logo. Now these things look especially awesome in the rear bumper and will be one of the largest you can grab in the category. Now for those who know the Borla name and the quality, you probably know you have to pay a little bit extra for the Borla stuff, and that certainly is the case here, as you are going to be landing right in the mid $700 price point, making this one of the pricier Axle-Backs in the category. But as that old cheesy saying goes, you get what you pay for, and that certainly is the case here with the Borla stuff. But let's get into the install, and you'll be happy to know that the S197 Axle-Backs are going to be one of the easiest to tackle. So I'm sticking to 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter here, maybe an hour or so depending on your expertise, your setup, and just how fast you like to work. Tool-wise, a basic socket set is going to be doing most of your work here, but I always recommend some spray lubricant, not only to help you with a rusty bolt or two, but also with those rubber exhaust hangers. And then finally, guys, just a way to get the rear of the car up in the air slightly, whether it be a lift, jack or jack stands, and of course your race ramps. Getting started, you're going to need to remove those factory mufflers from your GT. So to do so, grab your socket set and remove the clamps closest to the muffler, along with a few bolts at the hanger. Now this is going to allow you to drop that entire factory muffler down from the car. At this point, you can go ahead and transfer those hangers over to the new Borla mufflers, and then lift them and secure them into place using a few bolts into the hangers, and of course the clamps connecting the axle back to your mid pipe, making sure to position those tips exactly where you want them before snugging everything up. Once everything is completely tight, your installation is complete. So if you are after just a little bit more bark for your S197 GT and you don't mind spending the dough on a premium system, you are really going to dig the Touring from Borla, and you can grab it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.